You see it?
Yeah, there's a bear crossing in the frame.
Wow.
Coming down. I wonder if that's our guy from before.
He's going to our campsite.
Yeah, there he goes through the trees. Lost him. Isabel, JJ, and I are going to find out how's the hike in the front ranges of Banff. Where's JJ? Little shot of what we're up to. We're going to Stoney Creek today. First milestone will be CR6. Nice little spot for a break, actually. And we're heading to Stoney Creek, the only bookable campsite on our trip. The rest is in the random zone, where we're going to be taking advantage of lots of horse camps and grazing areas. Banff is pretty cool. They have a PDF that shows all these locations out here, and they make great targets even for backpacking. So JJ is joining us. He's driving in from BC today, and we wanted to get out a little early and beat the heat. Weather's going to improve for us, going to cool down substantially, but not today. So we thought we'd get out and get in, because most of the hike today is going to be pretty exposed. So we will see JJ shortly. Well, what's that, 2 kilometers uphill, basically, I think?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Little reprieve. And scenery-wise, this is pretty much it for most of the day. That's a 7th pile of scat, Isabel tells me. She's counting. And there's a, what'd you say, a problem bear in the area?
Yeah, he got into some food at the Minnewanka Days.
Ah, people food.
People food, so
Not good.
not good for there.
Nope. First milestone, first campsite, and the greatest bridge in the history of the world. This thing is beautiful. I remember it from last year. Speaking of beautiful, once we get across here, the wildflowers along the river. CR6, Cascade Bridge campsite. Showed you this last year, so I'll take you through a little bit as we walk through it. But this will be another great one-night stand campsite. What's it, 6.5 kilometers from the trailhead? Tent pads and outhouse are up that way. I'll show you that as we leave. And the eating area, food storage, campfire in here. Although it's still a fire ban, and my goodness, is it dry. We're on our way after a nice little break. Tent pads over here in this area. Some nice white noise from the water, and they look like the newer tent pads with the chips, wood chips, which is what we'll have tonight at Stoney. Yeah. How many piles is that now?
I stopped counting.
Yeah, so many. This is like the poo-poo highway. Black bear, likely, and well fed. We just heard from JJ, who about 20 minutes ago was at the first campsite, Cascade Bridge. So he should be catching up with us shortly. Intersection. If you're going on the trail, go right. We're going to go left and see the warden's cabin. I showed you this last year. I'm going to show you again. Isabel hasn't seen it. And we're going to enjoy a little break down in this pretty little spot. Here it is, Stoney Creek Cabin. Warden Service, Banff National Park. Got their solar up there, battery storage. The old house with the plaque over here, I showed you last year. Just came through the squeaky gate. That's where they keep the horses. Another squeaky gate a little further up the way. Okay, this is the end if you're on a bike. Just get in front of you here. There.
The big bridge.
All right, the big bridge just over here, and then we're in camp just before the heat of the day. are here. Eating areas here. And then the tent pads are over kind of in the woods. And on the way over there is the outhouse. Typical Banff outhouse with a door. Actually, no point in waiting to show you around because I'm actually walking from the food storage and eating area I just showed you. The outhouse is right here. And Isabel's heading into the woods there, where hopefully we can find some shaded tent spots. One in the shade over there will remain that way. When I was here last year, I stayed there.
This one will be in the shade really soon.
Yep. All right, and number one.
Number 3.
Get this moment on video. There's JJ. How are you, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Welcome. We just got here.
You just got here?
We stayed at the warden cabin for quite a while. Did you see it?
Oh, shit, I blew right by it.
We got to get you over there.
Yep.
All right.
Isabel.
Hi.
A little introduction.
How are you?
All right.
Good.
We're all together at the fanciest campsite we'll have the entire trip.
It is nice.
Woo!
It's in the shade.
It is. Found a nice shady spot with my friends the bugs, but at least there's a bit of a breeze, and you can see there's still some wildfire smoke in the air, but I have to be honest, it's way better today than it was yesterday, and I hope it continues that way for us. And we've already got a nice change in the weather coming with lower temperatures during the day and at night, so that's great for hiking, and we've got some hiking to do. So a little trip planning. Basically finishing off some stuff that I had planned last summer, and then when my friend Ann had to go home because of the wildfires in BC, we had to cut this section out. So where are we going? Tomorrow, longer day, 26K, and a little bit of rough trail in places. Going around Wigmore Lake is always tricky because of our beaver friends. They've swelled it up pretty good. But we'll get down to Windy Cabin tomorrow. And that sets us up for the next day up over snow and then down to Scotch Camp. Scotch Camp, I camped right across the Red Deer River from it last summer when I did the Clearwater Red Deer circuit. And I've always wanted to see Scotch Camp, so I'm kind of excited about that. We do know there's a trail on the south side of the Red Deer River, multiple sources, including people that would know, so we will not have to ford the Red Deer River. That's the plan, because we're going to head the following day when we leave Scotch Camp up over Elkhorn. We haven't decided which fork of Elkhorn we're going to take yet. The western one is supposed to be better. The eastern one might be tricky to find the trail, but it dumps us at a horse camp that we plan to stay at right along the Panther River. So we would bushwhack to avoid some fords, or ford to avoid some bushwhacks. That's going to be a game day call. We'll see what happens. Once we get to the Panther River, then we're going to come up toward Dormer Pass to another horse camp and set ourselves up for Dormer Pass, which will bring us right back here, basically right there, right here, back to Stoney, and then of course we'll hit the lollipop stick and head out. So 6 nights, 7 days. That's what's planned right now. You never know what can happen back here with conditions, and it's pretty dry right now. A lot of wildfires in the area, so we'll keep an eye on those things. But that's the plan, and I really hope if you're watching this clip and you know what happened in the video, that we finished this one finally. Met a nice couple, had great conversations, really helped pass the time on a long afternoon when we were setting ourselves up. So supper is complete. And there will be our exit from the Dormer Pass area in 5 or 6 days. Don't quote me on that. That's the plan. Anyway, nice shot. Smoke has really cleared out, and so we're really happy about that. So yeah, we're gonna make this an early night, set the alarm in the morning, and get ready for a long day. So, you know the drill. 5 seconds for you, 8 hours for me. See you in the morning.
Good morning, day 2. Not the greatest sleep at all. I wonder how much I really slept. Stuffed up. The smoke moved in overnight. You could smell it. And I just looked out the window, and it's got that orangey pink sunrise. And the mountains that were clear just down the way here last night when we went to bed are pretty much socked in. So that explains it. I just couldn't breathe. So anyway, it is what it is. Just gonna lay here and get the energy up to get moving and try to get an early start to avoid the heat again. Just trying to pull the weather down to see when this cooling trend's going to kick in for sure. But yeah, hopefully tonight will be better. Showing you something as I pack up here this morning. I don't know if you can see it on the video. I mean, you should be able to. That is ash and soot from wildfires on the tent. I haven't seen this since the girls and I were at, where were we? We were at Larry's camp. And there were fire ashes coming in from, I think, Kootenai National Park, I think. Was that fire? Anyway, yeah. No wonder. I mean, seriously, I didn't just do that for the camera. No wonder I was having trouble breathing. Jim just noticed this. Look at that big buck. Quite the rack, eh? He's gonna do well with the ladies this fall. Oh, very cool. Saying goodbye to my tent pad, which also has the secret escape route to the trail. Just up through here and then we go left. Oh, it's like a welcome. Come on in. Isn't that nice? Bear scat on the left, bear food on the right. See the scat?
That looks fresh.
There's the bunny. Ooh, let's look at the poo.
Or it could be wrong thus far.
Well, a couple days old maybe. What do you think?
Ah, it's like bone dry.
Isabel's an expert on scat.
You're not going to do the Indiana Jones thing?
The what?
Fresh, 2 days.
That's right.
He licks it.
Oh, God. Okay, we'll do that next, Jim, if you want to volunteer. Nice little view Isabel just spied. Everything's starting to clear out. Fingers crossed it continues. Always nice to get a view when you're walking on. Look straight ahead. That's the trail. This might have been here last year.
Yeah, I remember it on your video.
Yeah, because there's the head. Funny how long this takes to decay. But when I look at it, I can still see in between, like the vertebrae. You can still see some red. River Trail to Flint's Park. Isabel spied that. What am I looking at this morning? My feet, I guess. So here's your shortcut. If you want to get over to Flint's. Right here. Time for a break, just over 9 kilometers. We're coming up here to the left turn that takes you into the Flint's Park area. Campsite and warden's cabin. And you can see ahead the road less traveled. Quite a difference. Anyway, we're gonna sit here and just have a little snack and some water. Carry on. Here's a sign for your reference. All right, here we go. Here comes the Ford camp. Oh, holy moly, who turned off the heat? Oh my God. Yesterday, this would have felt great. Woo! Oh, there it comes, up my calf, nice and numb. Oh, baby. It's cold. Oh.
Are we having more of these?
Later. So we just finished that Ford, and I have to say, lots of lightning in the area. Unforecast, completely unforecast. Even Garmin, I just pulled down new weather. Now that said, it's brighter up this way where we're heading, but things are tinderbox dry out here right now, and lightning is not something we really want to hear. And the light, I don't think the camera's going to let you pick up the light here. It does too much auto-correcting, but the light here has been pretty eerie. Okay, we've got the full rain gear on now. Soaking wet. Lots of thunder and lightning in the area, which unfortunately, you know, if you're watching this video years from now, this is the week Jasper started burning, town site included, and everything is just super dry, and these lightning strikes are the cause of all the problems. So when you start hearing it, when you're out here, you do start thinking about, okay, if I have to go sideways one way or the other, which way am I going? Of course, today the easiest way is just to go backwards, but most of the lightning is behind us. So anyway, minor thoughts for someone out backpacking when so many others are having a really difficult time of it. This rain, however, is most welcome. Hey, what do you think? I think it's good. What are you laughing for?
No wonder you're single.
Oh, come on. Yeah, so you can see the little ski hill they cut here, very shallow slope. Yeah. And then there it is, the old Warden's Training School. Pretty cool. I showed it to you last year if you watched the Panther River video. Have a look at these flowers. They are popping. So pretty. Here comes the Ford cam, and I'm gonna run so I don't get wet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. Haha. Had a nice little break here at Cutthroat Creek. Lunch, actually. Rested up, got warm. I put on my gloves. It's nippy. Yesterday it was about 30. Today's about 12. Am I leading? Wow, what an honor.
Well, you got the skirt.
Okay.
And that's, I think, Grizzly.
I would agree. And Isabel was just saying, yeah, it's going to be hard to tell how fresh the bear poop is because we just had some rain. It's not hard to tell how fresh that is. I wonder if it's still warm.
Or maybe a big black bear.
Another spot with a trail. I want you to go through there, typically. We're going to end up over there. So we're trying the bushwhack. Others have, it looks like. I seem to recall this spot from last year. Well, here we go. Here comes the Ford cam. Oh! Do I do that in every time? Wait, do I? How did I do? Oh my God. Up to my knees and I'm cold. Oh. All right. Oh, numbing.
Horse.
It's the Big Howe Lake. The Big Howe Lake.
This is Big Howe Lake.
Jim, I need to go up there.
3 miles.
Yeah, right up there. Imagine how secluded that would be.
Have a good time.
Thank you very much. We'll see you later.
If you find any big hoes, let us know.
Well, all I ever see are cougar alerts, so I'm not really sure what to make of any of it, really. We'd like to say hi to the camera monitoring team. What did you do behind my head? Do it again.
There was a mosquito.
What's he doing behind my head? Yeah. We'll see you guys in the office. Little shot back a couple minutes ago over this ridge right here. From the dormer side came a helicopter. And it went up through that way in our direction over Wigmore Lake. So as I mentioned earlier, we're in a very extreme fire situation here. And lightning strikes are the big cause of everything bad that happens. We had a lot of lightning earlier. So you wonder, are they going out on a smoke patrol now that it's cleared up? But even if not, they're in a helicopter going in our direction. And if there was a little plume from a lightning strike, I would expect they would see it. So good peace of mind. These guys work so hard all summer and winter, but wildfire season's just become, non-stop. So anyway, that was good to see for us. Speaking of our friend the helicopter, now we're wondering maybe they may have just stopped at Windy Cabin and dropped something or someone off. Wouldn't it be cool to see somebody at Warden's cabin? Very cool. Look at all these strawberries. If only I wasn't with a Parks Canada employee, I could pick one. First little shot of the infamous Wigmore Lake. Infamous because, as I've mentioned, the beavers have dammed her up. And we're going to have to skirt the left-hand side, squishing around, maybe a little bushwhacking. Other people wade through it. Your call, but I'm going to try to stay left. Now the fun begins. Zooming left. See JJ coming through there now. There's a couple of sketchy spots along here, but as you can see, humans and horses have kind of made their own way, made a new trail, so there are a couple spots where you're going to have to be super careful. One final bushwhack, and then down there. Thank you, beavers. I showed you this last year. There's an old pickaxe. Wigmore Lake, altitude 6,500, of course that's feet. That old pickaxe would do a lovely job on that beaver dam. Beaver paradise. Lodge, dam, this way. Dam, lodge, and there's more to come. Little look at Cuthead Peak and its associated friends on the range. Little climb for us, up and over, but mostly downhill now, too windy. Views have opened up. Not too much smoke. It's turned into a gorgeous afternoon, really, for hiking. Isabel had a good eye. That's, of course, Bearscap, but what do you see in there? What's that thing right in the middle? That's a squirrel foot. Gotta chew, buddy. Gotta chew better. Always look back. It can't finish. It can't make up its mind which way it wants to go. No, you're good. I'm back in the willows again, out where a bear is a friend. Wind in my face. What's that mean? Can't hear me, can't smell me. So you call it a whole lot more often and loud. No bear bells. Hey! Late day edition of the Ford Cam. Cutie. Whoa, here we go. Yeah, water in boot. Well, here we go again. I don't remember this. Must be age. All right, here comes the Ford Cam. How many is that today? Man, she gets deep over here. It's no good place to go. We're getting wet, Stu. So far, we've avoided it. I think this is it. Here we go. Yeah, a little bit of the wrong move, but not the right move. Go Gators, go. A helicopter absolutely just went to Windy Cabin. Must be dropping off people. Wow, that'll be really cool. Nice fresh clearing, like very recent. Isabel works for Parks, so we know that there has been a team out here through, I think, most of our route doing clearing. They don't brush back the willows or anything like that, but they do clear the deadfall, and that's huge. I got lucky last year on the Clearwater Red Deer Circuit, as you know. A couple of days behind the same team, or the same kind of team, I should say, doing the same thing. So this... we start up snow tomorrow and we see fresh cutting. Whew, that's exciting. Makes a huge difference. Look at all this work here. All right, we're coming into Windy Cabin. There it is. And she's all boarded up. So why the two helicopters today? That's really interesting to me. Now the horse pen's where they drop stuff off, so we'll check that out later, but maybe you can help me. Last year, when I was here, was that beautiful new sign there? Looks to me like some folks have been out doing some work. So they drop you off, you do the work, come pick you up. That's, the paint's not totally fresh, but it smells nice. Yeah. Well, let's hope we see the bison herd. Coming down by the river, and there's the horse pen where I'm sure they land the helicopters. And we're gonna head left here, head down the river a bit away from the warden's cabin, and find a nice spot near the Panther River, and then have some food. Well, here we are. We got 3 tents all set up close together, which is a good move out here in these areas. We've got some weather that's approaching from the west and hopefully not going to hit us too much because, well, you know, we're hungry. We're down by the river, away from the warden's cabin and kind of close to where there's a couple of, well, it's a bridge basically. Well, we're all sitting here quietly. Everybody's pretty quiet after 26 kilometers. And we, right?
Why is it?
I don't know. But it is a gorgeous spot, and now we head into the unknown, like up over snow and then around to Scotch Camp, and I'm pretty excited about that. But probably going to turn in early, and we're just sitting out here on the riverside having supper. And I've chosen tonight Forever Young mac and cheese, 790 calories, 2.5 cups of water, just what the doctor ordered. I want to thank Kristen and Dwight at Briden Solutions, Bridensolutions.ca for all the meals this summer. Keeping me well fed. Thank you guys. So, little supper, and then we're going to wrap it up. Little look down the Panther. What a dramatic valley, huh? Just so dramatic, as is the scenery here. It's just, what a great place. I'm so glad to be back. Even though we're all super tired, I got a little bit of giddiness, that's for sure. But what's to come tomorrow, finally getting to see this section of the park. And it's all going to start down here at the river. I'm walking with you here because if you read the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide, they talk about a couple of logs across the Panther. Well, I mean, it's more than a couple of logs. You can see they've actually put like a support system there. But yeah, that'll be fun tomorrow. And then we go across, we're going to go up, we're going to go around that way to Scotch Camp. So exciting, finally to Scotch Camp. It's been on the list for a long time. And of course, if you look up there really close, you'll see a bunch of switchbacks for the goats. Neat. Anyway, there's the Panther. So, here we go, here he comes. Hi, how are you? Anyway, it was a great day. We all got here and it was a little long, you know, and the first part of the day we had some rain and thunder, which was a little scary given the situation around here right now. But everything's looking really good weather-wise for us, except maybe -1 overnight. Windy cabin, Panther Valley. Woo. See you in the morning. Good morning, day 3. Look at that view behind me. Ho, ho, ho. Look at that. Isn't that something? Over here. A little crooked, sorry. Then my pan down here. Of course, if I keep going around that way, that is our goal today. All sitting around camp, getting packed up, having a little food. Pretty good sleep last night. It didn't go down as cold as Garmin had predicted. What happened to Garmin's weather? It's like they got a person with a Ouija board and a palm reader deciding what your forecast is going to be every day. You just simply can't rely on it. So that's why friends are great when they when they message you the weather somewhere locally. But kind of a mixed bag this morning. Clouds. We're expecting a little bit of sun later and much cooler temperatures. Imagine going from 32 Celsius to like 14 overnight. Like that's what's happened here. And it feels like a September morn. A little Neil Diamond for you guys this morning. What do you think? Yeah, that's good. Anyway, we're going to pack up, but first, coffee. First bushwhack to get to the bridge. And, yeah. Here it is. These are definitely logs, as mentioned in the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide, but they're still here, and I'm not going to show you this. I'm going to have to pay a little attention here. I made it. You know, it's funny when you're afraid of heights. There's no height there, but still, the feeling's the same. Oh, man. Look at this view, though. As the gang comes over. Wildflowers are out. Yeehaw! Huffed and puffed our way up the ridge. Now we're on it. Go down here and then make a right. We've emerged to this old road. If you go down that way, it's going to take you back to Windy. We're going to head up this way. Start the climb up the valley. Wow. I mean, wow. Looking back, look at that. Man, is that steep. Little shot going forward. View's starting to open up a little bit. A meadow over there with lots of willows. Great thing about hiking on these fire roads is the grade is not crazy because it was built for vehicles. This will be shaky. There it is, bald eagle. Let's see, look, there he goes. Oh, yes, good timing. Thank you, buddy.
Off in search of another meal.
Gonna zoom in for you here. Yeah. Now we're making progress. If you squint closely along the right or eastern side, you can see our road. Gonna take us over to that notch and then kick right. And well, then down to the Red Deer River Valley. Woo-hoo-hoo. Wonder where we're going. Follow the yellow brick road. The maps call it a summit. CRTG, Canadian Rockies Trail Guide, calls it Snow Pass. Either way, we're in it. We're gonna go up here and find a place, get sheltered out of this sharp wind, and have some lunch. But first, one last look back. So let's spot this old sign over here. Snowflake Lake. And a yardstick.
And a bone.
That's a bone. Is it a femur or a tibia? Stopped for lunch, but it's cold. And JJ's got a little thermometer on his backpack. 8 Celsius.
And it's windy.
And it's windy. So no wonder we're cold. So hopefully we'll get down into some trees and get a little shelter. Get to camp and get set up. And it might be an afternoon where I take a half an hour and get in the sleeping bag and warm up after I have my cup of soup. It's a few days ago it was 32. Now it's 8. Okay, I'm going to try to zoom in for you right in the middle of the frame. I'm going to go again. There it is, Divide Pass. Remember Divide Pass from last year? This a little later than this, but yep, the infamous Divide Pass. And we're heading down to Scotch Camp. When we get there, I'm going to show you that I camped directly across the Red Deer River from Scotch Camp. But what a view. We've been following the yellow brick road, which has been amazing. Did you see that? But now we're back in the color. This is just, we've just timed the flowers here so well. Whew. Oh, sign of things to come. It's been pretty good so far. But yeah, next couple of days after this. Look out. You can see the old fire road on the right, loops around and heads down. I can also see the burn that I walked through last year when I came off Divide Pass and down and camped at the Red Deer River, so we're making great time. The gang just happened upon this. The last time I saw one of these was on the South Boundary Trail with Evelyn, and both horns were there. Just about to head into the woods east and then do some switchbacks down into the Scotch Camp area. Not too far now, a couple of kilometers. Good view of course, the Divide Pass area and where I came down last year, and as I said a few seconds ago, and then the Red Deer River Valley. Can't see much of the big old river just yet, but it's down there. Wildlife camera here, some sort of cairn here. There's a trail here with a horn up there in the tree, but both maps say to continue down the fire road. Ah, conundrum. All right, so Jim got his Nat Geo map out, and there is a trail going right down basically to the crossing where I camped last year, just like I thought maybe. And it takes you through Scotch Camp to the right, but we need to go right so we can see that other trail we need, which I'm going to talk about a little later in the video. Yeah. So we're going to stay with the switchbacks on the road and head down toward the bridge. Glad you had that map. Kind of solved the mystery of that trail right there. We've pretty much arrived. Things starting to open up. You can see ahead, lots of pasture. And there'll be some established campsites here for sure. And of course the patrol cabin, which I'm going to show you. So that's good. And the next order of business is to find a trail that does exist on the south side of the river. That's the only part of this trip that makes me nervous. Is making sure I find that. Here's the bridge over the Red Deer River. So now that we've found that and got our bearings, we're going to find a camp spot somewhere close by. And there she is. The Red Deer. There's the entrance to where we've camped, very close to the bridge. And just past the bridge, we think this might be the entrance to the Scotch Camp cabin. Let's go see. All right, we've come up over a rise from where we're camped just to get a view of this meadow. So this is Scotch Camp. I'll show you the horse camp in the morning because we're going to head through it and pick up a trail on the south side of the Red Deer River. I'm going to explain all of that to you after supper. Walking through the meadow, we can see the Canadian flag over there. I'll zoom in. There it is. That means that's the patrol camp. After an epic walk, the outer gate, as we head toward the cabin. I just want to say something right now. I've said it so many times. Look at this view. I'll show you the other direction on the way back. But look at this. If you're a warden or a rescon or somebody out here on horseback, yeah, you wait till you see the way back. All right, let's have a look at this place. There it is. Wow. Bit of a hike from where we camped to get here, but a gorgeous one. Little tacked area for the horses over there. Wood all bucked up. Scotch Camp cabin number 61. Around the back, the outhouse. We'll see if it's locked. No. Out here, why would you? Look at this. Somebody had a little free time when they designed this workhorse.
I'm just gonna sit here and pretend I'm trail crew or a warden who's had a long day of work and enjoy the views.
Let's have a look at those. Yeah. Oh, come on. On our way back to camp now, and you come out of the cabin, back into the pasture.
Following the wrong trail.
And that's your view. Wowie, wowie, wow. Yep. All right, here we are back at camp. All set up, all together. And it's supper time. Once I'm done supper, I'm going to take you through tomorrow and wrap it up. Woo! Greetings from the Red Deer River. Right behind me, the bridge over here. What a day. How about that warden's cabin? How about those wildflowers? Oh, how about the Panther River? Yeah, coming up the Cascade Fire Road, great walking, great scenery. We've hit the wildflowers perfectly. And of course, when we went over and saw the warden's cabin tonight, what a view. I mean, are you kidding me? Oh, so anyway, it was just a great day that way, and I'm pretty happy. But I'm going to flash something up right now on your screen. Here's our track today. On the right, you can see how we came around. You'll see my little arrow in the middle, but I'd already left the warden's cabin. If you look to the left on your screen, you'll see above my little mark from where I camped last year on the Clearwater Red Deer Circuit after encountering the bear on Divide Pass. I also talked in that video of Clearwater Red Deer Circuit about this horse crossing I saw, and I think it goes right into Scotch Camp to the warden's cabin. And I think today when we saw that trail to our left and we came down the fire road, that would have probably taken us right into the warden's cabin, and then it would have been a much easier, much more beautiful walk across the meadows. First time here, didn't want to make any errors looking for that trail on the south side of the Red Deer River. Yes, there is a trail on the south side of the Red Deer River. I want to thank my friend Phil Richards for pointing this out to me last year when I was making plans. And I want to thank Phil tonight. My friend Ann, I messaged her over Garmin. I said, Ann, would you ask Phil, where is this trail on the south side of the river? Like, how do I pick it up? and Phil sent the coordinates. It's actually through the horse camp here in Scotch Meadows, down over a little creek, and then up the other side. And we should be able to make our way, and you'll see tomorrow, and so will we. We should be able to make our way on the south side of the river all the way to Elkhorn Summit Trail. And once we get there, we're going to climb up, and then we have a decision to make. Do we take the East Fork or the West Fork? The West Fork's the one that's used now. It's the one the horse parties go through and clear. And when I say clear, I mean dead full. Nobody's brushing back willows. If they are, that would be quite amazing. The east side is the one mentioned in the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide, and that's become a lot more sketchy and overgrown. There might be some route finding, and there certainly will be some bushwhacking, probably either way we go. But the great thing about the east side is it drops us right into the horse camp. I think it's number 14. Holy flies. Guys, I'm doing a video. Can't teach these flies anything. I think it's horse camp number 14 or 12, whatever it is. We're going to drop right down off the east side into that camp. If we take the west side, we've got 4 extra kilometers of the Panther River Trail, which may require multiple fords, 2, I think for sure. And we're just going to have to wait and see how we feel when we get to that intersection and what the weather's going to do. The weather's calling for some, maybe some rain tomorrow, but a 50% chance of 3 millimeters. Now that's not a lot of rain, it's just messy. And if you're bushwhacking willows, it's even more fun. So we're gonna have our fingers crossed tonight that forecast is wrong and that we won't have to deal with wet willows and wet feet if we don't even ford the Panther River before we get to camp. So anyway, I'm gonna show you the red deer here and the bridge. It's a stunning spot. Glad to be here, glad to be very close to where I was last year, and just another great day of friendship and scenery, and what will tomorrow bring? Let's go see if that trail's there, and then ask the question, all of us, why is it not on the map? 5 seconds for you, 8 hours for me. See you in the morning.
Morning, day 4, and it's going to start off as a wet one. It's started raining in the middle of the night. Everything's soaking wet, including the willows, which will be welcoming us shortly. So I'm going to pack everything up in the tent before I get out and get some breakfast and coffee and get ready for a bath.
A little shot of my tent. This one's the one I'm testing this summer from Mech. Full review coming up in the fall. Haven't had it out on an expedition yet, but I do like having all that room inside. It's nice and roomy, 2-person. Over here we have a Durston Festival. Dan would be happy to see this. Hi Dan, how are you? I actually talked to Dan about one of his tents because I love them, but I'd have to get the 2-person because I just love all this space inside. I know the vestibules are huge. I mean, look at this. But yeah, so I'm on the fence. 2-person, 1-person. What do you do? These things are bomb-proof. Atta boy Dan. There's the gang having breakfast. Time for some coffee.
Holy crap.
This is when you don't get your camera out fast enough. There was a wolf in the south boundary. I didn't get it out. Isabel yells, "What's on the bridge?" And we watched a maybe he does. We watched a bison run across the bridge and into the woods toward the warden's cabin. I wish I could have got it on video. Wow.
I can still hear it run a little bit.
Isabel's like, "Don't come in here." No kidding. Shot of my dry spot. Looks like one of those manta rays or whatever. All it's missing is the tail. Yeah, thank you, camp. So up to the fire road again. Let me show you how you find the south trail along the Red Deer River over to Elkhorn. So you can see the clearing ahead of me. It's where that pond was that we crossed yesterday. And if you're coming this way, you just cut in here to the horse camp. We're coming from the opposite direction. So here's a little shortcut. But the horse camp is your key. And again, I want to thank Phil Richards. Oh man, the guru of Banff. Phil knows so much. I think he's hiked. He's getting close. Got to be close to 100% of most of the trails in Banff. So pretty awesome. So here's the horse camp. I'm going to walk through it over to what they've got as an eating area. And then I'm going to show you where we're going to start on the south side of the Red Deer Also want to thank my friend Ann, who I messaged last night over Garmin. I said, can you ask Phil to confirm or let me know exactly where we're supposed to be going? Which, you know, I should have done before we set out. I just didn't want to be exploring this morning. Jim's adjusting his footwear. This is the horse camp, and this is the trail. And there's fresh horse on this trail. And we think a Parks Canada crew just came through in the opposite direction. And it looks like they might have used this trail. Well, I don't blame them. Who wants to ford the Red Deer, even on a horse? We're gonna water up a bit and head out. Let me just point something out. Can you see that? That's snow. Look at that, there's your freeze line in July. So all that rain we just got put some snow at the peaks. Be prepared out here. Somebody lost a tooth. Good water source here as well. Time for a little rock hop. Literally. Two trails coming out of there, and this one obviously led to a camp because we could see the bear hang. This is a lot nicer than the other one. Look at this. Wow. Look at that. Oh, come on. Look at this place. Look at this. There's another one of these at the other camp, but it's all falling down. Yeah, been some work done here. What a lovely spot. Yeah, a little buyer's remorse after seeing that second horse camp. But look at this trail. So far, super well defined and used on the south side of the Red Deer. And again, the question I'll ask this when I get out is, why is this not on a map? I mean, even as a route, it's pretty fresh. Remember I told you there was a parks crew going the opposite direction, and we know they use this trail actually, so thanks for the work. Even have blazes. Pretty steep climb. This is not the steep climb. We just basically came straight uphill a la Badger Pass counterclockwise, but opening up some views. When you come up that steep thing, go left. There's a blaze. We can see the fresh cutting from the trail crew. Thank you, Banff Trail Crew. You're gonna go left and you'll be on the trail. Whoa, that's deep. All right, nothing more than a rock hop. Nice to see some sun come out because there's a willow bath. Whew. More of that to come for sure. So just a little ways back, big fork in the trail, right or left. So we're guessing now the right one may go up and intersect Elkhorn much higher up. However, as you know, we have a verifiable point, and that's a horse party that went through. I can see their tracks right here on the trail, and we've seen poop. And we just picked up a blaze going the opposite direction. Now, if that is a trail that goes up the Elkhorn, we probably could have cut off maybe a kilometer or so. We don't know. So you kind of go with what you know. And right now that's horse poop. Should be less than a kilometer from the trail intersection. We've exited the trail and there's a cairn here. And then you start looking around, where would you go? So, if you go over this way, just going to sneak past Isabel here. You can kind of see a little bit of a beaten path here. Come over this way. To your right, come upstream. And there's the other cairn, which means the trail, I'm assuming, goes through that cut. We're going to find out momentarily. Isabel rock hopped over here and found the trail, which loops around to meet where that cairn is. So, time for a rock hop. Ho-ho! Took a little bit of a wide gap for me. Got it. Two trails we've intersected, but we came along a little further, and this looks like Elkhorn. Woohoo! Little trail intersection here, and Isabel has a friend at Parks that said, go down here and check out waterfalls. I did not expect to see this. I came down the trail and looked at it, and I actually said holy poop with a different word. Look at this. Holy moly. You know, you can only get here if you walk in. And it's spectacular. The climb has begun. And from the map, it's gonna be, we're gonna go up for a while. Seeing a lot of this. First of all, we're seeing a tremendous amount of bison patties. So the bison are using this as a highway, but they're cutting their own trail. And there are a couple of places where, honestly, you're like, oh, which way do we go? So it's interesting they don't want to take our trail all the time. They cut their own. One last relentless uphill. After 4+ kilometers of uphill.
Welcome to Elkhorn Summit.
Woo! We just had a nice long break here, and I think this was to block off an old trail down here. Like if you look at it, it's just a please stop and go this way. That may be the case. So we're gonna go this way anyway. A couple kilometers and change before we hit the east versus west. Good shot here of our target. West goes right, east goes left. Ways down the trail course. And we know east, for example, has a pretty good elevation gain. You kind of give it all back at the end. Isabel with her hawk eyes. Looks like a wildlife camera, I bet. Checking out who's coming down this valley. I can tell you who's going down this valley now. Us. Pretty view down there. Some water. And if we get close to it, I can see it outflowing at the other end. We'll tank up. So we've come up to where the map shows the intersection and past it, and we can't see it. There was perhaps an option, and I have to say I'm using Backroads Mapbooks Canada. There are no Nat Geo layers for Canadian parks, which is baffling because most of the US parks, if not all, have them. And that would have been very helpful because they have this on the map. Backroads Mapbooks Canada has been pretty good, but if you see, whoa, my GPX track compared to what they expect, it's all over the place. Not by a lot, maybe no more than 50 to 100 meters, but when you're trying to find an obscure trail that's not maintained anymore, accuracy is kind of important. Okay, we just had a powwow. We've kind of come back and forth here where the Backroads Mapbooks Canada shows the intersection to east, and we couldn't find it. Now it's off, so we're gonna make the decision to go west, and if we see east, we'll make a decision to take it or not. West is gonna add a few kilometers to our trip if we want to get to the horse camp tonight, which is our goal, but bushwhacking and route finding might take the same hour that it'll take us to hike 3 kilometers. So we're going to start on this trail, which is obviously well defined, obviously used by horses. And if we go west, okay, we add a little bit of kilometers, but gosh knows we might, even the tortoise and the hare, right? What's that old saying? The shortest route is the longest. No sign of east, unless it's at that first intersection I saw in the meadow. Doesn't make a lot of sense. It would be, but who knows? After a hard climb, we've kind of come into this semicircle meadow. We're heading left, of course. Nice little breeze. We just turned the corner and more of this kind of easy walking. Sometimes a single track isn't that easy because your feet rub together and they trip you up. Super steep descent here. And then around that corner to the right. This is dramatic. This is west. And this is what the trail crew horse parties use. And this is, quote, cleared. Imagine what east would have been like.
Really?
Yeek. Oh. Watch your step. Little change of scenery. Some of the Panther burn. I think it was from the 1990s. I was reading it in the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide. My other thinking is that they did a prescribed burn to help prepare bison habitat. Wouldn't be surprised. If I'm wrong, let me know below. But certainly a change in what we're looking at. In the center of the frame, this crazy bird just practically buzzed me. That was weird. This thing is literally following me. I hear ya. It's a problem. Crazy bird is following me all the way. I'm thinking I should hang on to my hat. Holy crap, that bird just dive bombed me again, this time close. The whooshing sound was scary as heck. What are you doing, birdie? You followed me for a kilometer. What is going on? After that harrowing experience, I'm a little ahead of the gang, and I wonder if they're going to get repeat treatment. That was very aggressive. That's never happened to me before. Let's take that one off the list. Now, here comes a sign. Obviously, an intersection. Oh, we're supposed to be 3 kilometers down the trail that way, emptying ourselves into the camp. Anyway, here's our intersection. I'm going to walk over this way and get some water. And there it is. Dormer Panther Divide is 6'2". Okay, the gang's all here and we are heading to the ford. Now, in the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide, it says 1.5 kilometers past this intersection, we'll find a meadow and an old camp once we get to the South Side Trail. If that's the case, we'll probably take it, stay south, and have less water to deal with as we head to the Dormer Pass Trail tomorrow. Adds a bit of mileage tomorrow, but you know what? It's getting on in the evening, and if it's a nice camp, I mean, look down river. So we followed the trail that said come this way, and we're on the trail that I thought we'd be on because it's lining up with my maps. But Nat Geo says the South Side Trail is probably over there on that plateau, and that's probably the meadow down there at 1.5 with the campsite right there. There we go. So we're very confused, and it's not the time of day you want to be too confused. But I mean, listen, this will get us to the other Elkhorn. That's where we hope to be tonight anyway. But that's weird. Still on the north side. Again, I didn't see a trail going south. No one did. There is the meadow, I'm assuming, that the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide references at about 1.5 kilometers from that intersection back there. So there'd be a camp maybe somewhere in the trees, or, you know, probably right up in the middle there. Middle of the frame, if I zoom in, I could probably see somebody set up some stuff right there in the middle. Back out. Anyway, we're still on the the trail that's on all of my maps, but not on Nat Geo. I will say that there is horse poop and fresh horse tracks, maybe the last, let's say horse tracks, a little dehydrated. I will say we're on the trail that the horses have used, so we know this is going to take us to the next Elkhorn Trail that we were hoping to drop down out of. Oh, where'd the trail go? Honest to goodness, if the horses hadn't come through, I would just follow the valley and hope for the best. Not to beat a dead horse. But I mean, speaking of that south side trail, like if you're over there and you're coming along this way, boom, you're cliffed out. So there's another ford for sure. I'll have to get to the bottom of this because I mean, listen, out here, look at my Clearwater red deer last year. Lots of issues with where I was supposed to be, but that one's a bit of a conundrum. Grizzly was reading earlier some notes he put together, and there's no camping allowed in this area. We think it's probably off the horse grazing map. This is sulfur. Man, does it smell. Anyway, they don't want you camping anywhere near this ecologically sensitive area. The trail goes right over it. Look at that, so cool. And yeah, can you smell it? You should be able to, it's so strong. Just popped up over a hill. Kind of thought we should be heading down to the water. That may be the intersection of the trail we wanted to drop out of. In which case I wonder, that just drops us down and around. Finally found an actual trail. It's been a bit of a route finding mission. Oh, look at that, coming back to life. Yeah, it's been a little nutty. And it is definitely time to get in camp, get some food, get hydrated, and get to sleep. It's been a long, tough day. Major route finding. Finally found the trail again. This is in rough shape, guys. I'm ahead of the group just because I want to find out where we're going. Yeah. Over and around there and down. Little shot down river here. Oh boy, what a day that was. Day 4 was a doozy. Started off good. We had a buffalo run across the bridge. We had a good trail on the south side of the river, so spirits were high. Elkhorn Trail, took some of those spirits away. She's a toughie. That's a tough one. I'm talking just even the first part before you get to the decision. And then when you get to the decision, there's no decision. You can't find the other trail. And then when you get to this end of it, confusion. So CRTG says there's a south side trail, as does Nat Geo map. But when you look at the sign, it's pointing you the trail we took. And then this, I'm going to flash this up. This is from Banff National Park. This is a horse grazing area. This is the one we were aiming for tonight. And we're basically in the vicinity. Every one of these I've ever seen in the parks has some sort of campsite that the horsemen have used at some point over the years. We didn't find it. I hope it's not behind me somewhere in those trees, and we'll find it tomorrow. But we also have to find the trail. Because if you take the south side trail, there's lots of back and forth over the river, and that was one of the reasons the gang wanted to take the east side, was to try to avoid a lot of fords of the Panther and that sort of thing. So it was a very confusing day. Everybody's super, super tired. It's late, and it's just one of those days back here in the Front Ranges where you get surprised. You lose the trail. You've got the GPS showing you where to go, and you're looking ahead and going, I don't see anything. And in some cases, that was the case. So anyway, these guys are troopers. We're tired. Going to have a quick supper and get to sleep. And head up the dormer tomorrow. Wish us luck. See you in the morning.
Good morning, day 5. Crazy night last night. I just get into my sleeping bag and was just kind of relaxing, getting ready to go to sleep, and it was dusk. Heard this clompity clomp, splash, 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 and I yelled out, is that a bison? And of course we're right along the Panther River, not too far away actually, and I looked out and didn't see anything, and then I looked kind of upriver, and there's the rear end of a bison going into the bush. You could hear snap, snap, crack, crack, crack. So that's 2 in one day that ran by us, and twice I didn't get it on video. So you can be skeptical, but I'm telling you the truth. It was crazy. Good night's sleep. Cold. No clouds. So it's our first clear night really on the trail. And it was a bit nippy. So today's going to be interesting. We're trying to get up to another horse camp close to the approach to Dormer Pass. And we have to find a trail, which sometimes exists and sometimes doesn't exist. And I'm not even going to get into the whole south side, north side debate. None of us saw the south side trail cut last night. And And we have pretty good trail for quite a ways on the north side until we didn't. So I finally said, listen, let's get off this trail and head down to the river and let's get set up. So kind of par for the course out here. I think about last year in the Clearwater Red Deer, there were quite a few sketchy areas where I was, you know, scrambling to find the trail. But you don't want to do that at the end of a long day. So hopefully today is going to be a little bit more obvious. Anyway, we'll find out soon. But first, coffee.
Thank you, little campsite. Thank you, Bison, for the visit last night. Oh boy, that's 2 in one day. Maybe today I'll get one on video. Have to be pretty lucky. They're pretty skittish. There aren't that many of them. Okay, so I'm going to flash up on the screen the map. There is 2 maps overlaid. There are 2 maps overlaid. Backroads Map Books Canada Trails and the old Canada Topo map, which is the base layer. That shows that we are going to bushwhack here for a bit and then cross in a couple hundred meters. And then go up high a little bit, probably right over there. And then back down and cross a couple more times to hit the Dormer Trail. I've given up on the Gaia map and of course Nat Geo in Canada. As I said yesterday, for some reason we don't have their layer. That would have been super helpful yesterday. But so let's bushwhack down here a bit and see where that ford is. Definitely an old trail. I mean, if you've been out here enough, you can recognize these. Totally overgrown now with willows. But the map layers I gave you earlier, like just a second ago, right on the money. We are right on them. So, Canada Topo, you're going to be our friend for the next day and a half. We've made it. Here's our ford. And I'm going to zoom in. I just yelled out, flagging! There is literally flagging right over there. Yeehaw. This is a big early morning ford. Oh, and she's deep. All right, well, you're going to hear me groan and moan. Oh, boy. Here comes the ford cam. Oh, yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah. Not too bad. A little swift here. Oh, right here. You're deep and swift. Going to get swifter now as you hit that turn. Oh, yeah. Ooh. To my knees. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Not so bad cold-wise. Either that or I'm just numb to it by now. Oh. So we've come out from there, great trail, and then you can see the track goes through here and then stops, as do the horse prints we've been following. You look across and you see this. The problem is none of the maps show us crossing here. But, like, look down there. Cliffed out. Obviously, there's a cut there and we're going that way. You can see Isabel showing a really good kind of side-to-side technique in that swift water over there. It's a really good technique if you're comfortable with it. I'm going to come down here low, and then I'm going to work my way into the current that way, because over there she's moving pretty good. All right, brace yourself. Here comes the fort cam. Yeah, the first part's easy, right? And then you get out here, now we're starting to move. So now we're going to turn our body a little bit this way into the current. Walk into it, take your time. Make sure you slide your feet. Right, slide your feet. Go. And that's not a good footing, but we'll work with it. Here we go. Slide your feet, slide your feet. Now this is where it's really swift, and I'm going to start walking into the current. So I don't get pushed down. So you gotta drag your feet. You can pick your foot up. You're going to lose your balance. This is the worst part right here. Absolute worst part right here. We're here. We're here. Step in. We made it. We've done 0.7 kilometers. This is our third ford. I can see the trail across. Can you see it? There it is. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about this. Wide, yes, deep in places. But look at this over here, right there. The water's hitting something and changing course. That's probably a bunch of rocks like right over there. So I'm going to do what Isabel just did and go straight, because I'm going to get a reprieve when I get to that point. It's probably ankle deep. You ready? Here goes the fort camp. Glad the sun's out now though, because the water it's not frigid, but not great. Now this time I'm not angled upstream. Why, Stu? Because I don't have to, except right here. Okay, take a little pause right here. This is the fastest part of this whole thing. It's deepest. Just take your time, slide your feet. There we go. There we go. Now look, remember what I just said? There it is. Rise and look, ankle deep. Come down here. This is pretty easy. You get out here, you learn to spot these things. Now it's going to get much deeper in this little waterfall here. I'm going to go over here just a bit. Now look at that. That's deep. I don't really want to go there, so I'm going to go over here a little bit more. Always take your time. The water's clear. I can see it. Big difference. If this was opaque, whole different ballgame. That's it. Ford number 3 in 800 meters. Why are the cairns always going in the opposite direction of the hikes I do out here? So there's a giant cairn. I see nothing across. Oh, no, is that flagging in the tree? That's flagging. Let's zoom in. I think that's a yellow tag hanging right there. Yeah. Yep, I got it. Start the Ford cam. So this one, I'm just going straight toward the target again. Now, the water is absolutely pushing me downstream. So I'm going to stop for a second and just go a little slower. Okay. I'm actually walking a little upstream of where I want to end up. And the water's kind of pushing the feet down as I slide them. And it's fast. This is fast water. Not crazy, of course. Oh, this is going to be above my knees. Good morning. Just to confirm, that is the flagging, and that is the trail. We think this is a cairn, or I do. I'm not going to put words in anybody's mouth. We've come out to these flats, and according to the map, we should have already started to make kind of a sweeping right turn toward that gap. But I do see a cairn here. Thank you, cairn builder. Oh, and there's horse hooves there. So yeah, that's a cairn. Let's see where it goes. Kind of coming straight toward the river, another cairn. Now the next cairn is going to be the critical one. So not straight ahead. When you see that second cairn, look, here's another one. So we're going up this way. That's bizarre. Unless that's leading us somewhere else, like back to that other cairn. I don't know till I get up here. So we've come out of the woods. We've seen 2 cairn. I've gone straight toward the Panther. I looked right. Here's another one. I don't know why they wouldn't exit over there. But let's see. Definitely a cairn. Back toward the river. Yep, there it is. All right. So you come out of there, you're going to see 2 cairns, follow them, then turn right, and come straight toward the river. And there's where we're going. So this is swift and deep right off the bat, and I'm probably looking at my bum. But I look up here, and look across there. That's just more, maybe ankle-deep rocks, maybe a little deeper. And then right there, maybe a little swift through there. I'm going to go over to that island, and I'm going to come down here to that way. This, I'm not going to bother with that this morning. Look how, you'll never see how deep that is, but it's up to my bum. Okay, so I've come up quite a ways. Remember, don't always forward where the horses go. You're not a horse. Coming up here, now look at this. This is totally manageable across to that island. Totally, all right? Here comes the first Ford cam. Yeah, this is up to my mid-calf, maybe? Moving, but no big deal whatsoever. I'll get to this island and I'll show you the rest of it. Down to the edge of this island. Now look, this is moving. Look how deep it is over there. But it's not right here. I'm gonna follow this along that way. Look down there. See how those currents are coming together? Horses Ford just down there. That's not for me this morning. This is way more manageable. All right, brace yourself once more time. Now listen, look, it is going to get fast over there, don't get me wrong. But the depth is not there. Here comes a Ford cam. Oh yeah, she's swift. Getting swifter. I'm paying attention now. The only tricky part is going to be right ahead of me, right there. Rocks are a bit slippery, so you kind of brace yourself against the rock. Remember, you're sliding your feet, right? Here we go. This is the tricky part right here. Missing my foot with a rock. And boom. Never take the first ford if it doesn't look easy. Isabel just let out a woohoo. There it is. Cascade Stoney Creek 33, and that's where we're going. But first, Dormer Pass tomorrow. And tonight, somewhere between the Dormer River corners and the approach to Dormer Pass. Probably for us, another 14 kilometers is kind of what we have planned. Little break. Lovely morning of walking. We know now, though, a similar relentless climb like yesterday, and then almost a big downhill right away. And then we will go up the Dormer Valley a little more gradually. Nice little reprieve from the uphills. Quite different than the first 4K after we hit Elkhorn yesterday. So this is good. A little more recent burn here, as we've just noticed, and there's the sign. Attention. Anyway, basically, snags can fall. If it's windy, be careful. The usual Parks Canada disclaimer. Use at your own risk. We're at the top. Now it's about 3K downhill, and then a gradual climb back up until we get close to the pass, and then of course steep. One last look back. Just stopped for lunch, refreshed ourselves, and now we're heading down basically 3 kilometers, giving back all that elevation gain to a junction, which I'll show you when we get there. Also, horse camp, or horse grazing area, let's put it that way, grazing area, number 13, which was a plan B for us tonight if we needed it. We're trying to get to 14 to set ourselves up for Dormer Pass and a bunch of fords of the Stoney tomorrow afternoon. So let's see how this goes. Trail so far has been, there's been challenges, but it's been pretty darn good compared to Elkhorn. Grizzly bear just ran up the hill to the left. You're not going to see it now. Went right up here. Hey, bear. He did what we...
Following him for a while.
We have. There's been lots of fresh poop today.
Grass was super fresh.
So, 2 bison, a crazy bird, and now a bear. We're done with the bees. All right. Well, it did what it was supposed to do. Took off.
Bye-bye, bear.
So, similar to last night, there's no trail. This is because of the burn. We have no other indication of where the trail might be. And the maps, believe it or not, one's on one side of us, one's on the other. So, we know we're going down here. So hopefully we get down a ways and we'll have a better idea. So lots of blazes here on these burnt trees.
Right here.
Yeah, there it is. Oh my, trail finding. There were so many blazes there because they want you to come through this window and then follow these blazes, and this you can see it's kind of beat down by the horses. Now we're back on track. Little shot of our target way off in the distance. I'm going to zoom way in. Here you go. Boom. Look out there. It's smoky. I apologize for that. It's just, yeah, we've been pretty lucky on this hike with smoke, unlike others in different areas, but that's kind of the valley we're shooting up. Down there in the middle of the frame, which you can barely see. Making steady progress through this burn, but there's some water we're going to use when we get down to the intersection here. And Isabel just pointed out another ribbon. Tie a blue ribbon round the old burnt tree. Well, that's the trail going over that way. One of my favorite types of hikes on a steep catwalk. That's ill-defined. Well, hello there. Look at that. Still got a ways to go to get down there and intercept our trail, but odd place for a flag, given that I'm on what's obviously the trail. But back there about 100 meters, I couldn't find where I was supposed to go. Maybe I should move that one back up there. Because this is super obvious. I'm wondering now if my estimations of kilometers are going to add up, or whether a lot of stuff's been rerouted versus the map. I know I'm off the map now for sure, so we'll figure that out when we take a break down here. Coming up behind a sign. We're sneaking up on it. Do it again. Sneaking up behind the sign. Let's have a look. I know we're going that way. See the flag? So, here it is. Oh, let's turn it this. There we are. Junction of Dormer Pass, 5-7. Dormer Pass itself, 13-1. I think 5-7 is kind of where we're heading. Come on in.
You see it?
Yeah, there's a bear crossing in the frame.
Wow.
Coming down. I wonder if that's our guy from before.
He's going to our campsite.
Yeah, there he goes through the trees. Lost him. Come on up there, buddy. He had to have seen us. He was booking it. There he goes.
There he goes again.
Yeah. Grizzly bear. Number 2.
Could be the same guy.
Could be the same
dude.
guy.
Or girl.
Same dude or girl.
Yeah, hauling it.
Galloping
Hauling
along.
butt. Okay, we've just come down to the river. We know we have to cross. That's a marker. Now we're going to walk this way toward the bear and figure out where we're supposed to go. Isabel spotted this cairn to our right. We're going to keep looking for him. I'm not sure why they brought us up in the woods just to bring us back down to the river. We'll keep looking for those. Oh, I see another one straight ahead. And from this cairn that I pointed out, we head over toward the river to another big one. We've seen a blue flag over there past JJ, and then up in the trees past him I can see a blaze. So we're gonna cross here. It's the kind of stuff that holds you up at the end of the day, you know, when you have to get across.
Down there.
Okay, the gang's gonna go down there where Isabel is and cross. I spied a little spot up here where I can cut across just onto that nothing stuff. Be a little swift, but to each their own. If I'd known we were gonna cross so quickly, and I mean it's in the book, but the trails are not matching up. If I'd known, I would have waited. We would have waited and had a break here. So, all right. We're gonna look here. Here we go. Here comes the fort camp. Oh, that's a little chillier. Oh my God, that feels so good on my feet though. Like honestly. Now, here we go again, talking. This is swift. That really moved me. Right? So you're always being slow and gliding those feet along the bottom. Find a foothold. Make sure you're not in a slippery rock. And you go. And I'm pretty much done. So you get these currents, right? And they'll get you. So just don't lift your feet up much. Just glide along. I'm going to stay here for a second. That feels good. Across the river. Quickly want to show you something. Here's a blaze. You can see some more down the way. But look. Those blazes were done very recently. And that's a really good thing. Because you can't find a thing with this burn. This stuff always reminds me of Russell Crowe in The Gladiator. End of the burn zone. And that's great. Back out to the river. We're just in front of Isabel. It is a cairn. There it is. And the flag. Where's your partner? Just turn left, follow the river. Another cairn here. Oh, a deer up there. Hello, buddy.
Whitetail.
Yeah. That's probably where we're going. He's leading the way. Another cairn right here. And there's a flag. A little bit of that flagging tape up in a tree. It's pretty obvious, but that's where you want to go back up to because everything else was washed out. There's the flagging, there's the carnage, and there's the trail. Another washout, another cairn hunt. Obviously we're dropping down here. A big gap over there to my right, which is an obvious place. We've yet to see any flagging, so we're going to walk kind of in that direction. There's a cairn. Oh boy. Do we cross or don't we cross? Here's the old washout. Here comes the gang. There's a blue flag there that I didn't see, so I just get up in here to see if I could find the trail. Bushwhacked a bit, and there it is. Both maps, neither one that I trust on this trail at the moment, do show the trail on this side of the river for now. Another washout. If you're coming the other direction, there's an orange flag here. I'm gonna zoom way in over here. Can you pick that up? It's a blue flag back there. There it is, just on the right. And the yellow one too.
Blue flag here.
Yeah, blue and yellow there, and then there's a blue one. The one that I saw was right there. Well, hello there. So, we decided to stop here. We were on our way kind of up toward the warden's cabin, which we'll show you tomorrow. And we found this little spot to tuck in just away from the river. Nice little spot. And we're heading down kind of toward the river and away to have our food. Like, we've seen a bear twice today, or 2 bears. So yeah, extra vigilant. There's our view. Sun's already dipped down below this western mountain range here. And there's the view. Wow, huh? So, again, random camping. Be nice to find that horse camp, but this will do just nicely. So there's my stuff that I'm going to take down, and well, it's time for supper. Little view from just beyond our eating area. Came down to get some water. Wow, isn't that beautiful? We hiked all the way up that today. And tomorrow, there's Jim. Boom. Hey, Jim. There's the target. Right over Jim's shoulder. Up and around. Yeah. Well, that was quite a day. Our shortest in many. And we really enjoyed our evening. Had a great supper, lots of laughs. After yesterday, much needed, that's for sure. That was a tough one yesterday, but the bison last night was my highlight. Highlight today, how about the bears? I mean, it could be the same bear, probably the same bear. Didn't get it on video the first time, but I sure got it on video the second time. Good looking bear, looking healthy, and heading in our direction. So we're going to make sure the earth sacks are in good spots tonight, like we always do, but pretty exciting to see that stuff out here, especially when you're, you know, it got hotter today and we were going through a burn, so there was no cover. Pretty with all the new wildflowers and growth, but yeah. So day 5. Day 4 was hard, day 5 was easier, and day 6, tomorrow, Dormer Pass. The scenic highlight of the whole trip as we head back to the Stoney Creek campsite, CR15. So yeah, closing in on completing a whole ton of the front ranges, and we're getting close tomorrow. So anyway, 5 seconds for you, 8 hours for me. Dormer Pass tomorrow. A little chilly last night, actually. Coldest night yet on the trip, and I brought my old one of my old Big Agnes sleep system bags with the infamous downshifting. So right in the middle where my chest is, if you hold it up to the light, you can see through it. So I brought it out because I knew that, but also because it was hot. And the first few nights, I mean, I didn't need much of anything because it was so warm, but not last night. So not the best night's sleep as we set ourselves up for Dormer Day. Dormer Pass, about 7K up and 13K down to Stoney Creek. It's going to be a good morning of climbing. Hopefully we get up there before the heat hits, because it's going to be another sunny day, which is great, because this is the day for the views, and we have pretty much perfect skies. A little bit of smoke off in the distance. I'll show you here. You can see down the valley a little bit of smoke, just kind of hazy down that way, but pretty darn good compared to what we started out with on day 1 and day 2, especially the morning of day 2. So coffee's already underway, breakfast is already underway, and I'm packing up. And we're off. Isabel from Banff is in the lead with JJ in the mountains in second. Round the corner they go. Up to the intersection with the big rock. JJ made a good point last night. You know, if you're going to put an intersection somewhere, why not use a natural feature? Like that giant rock. Maybe they helicoptered it in.
Probably.
Yeah. No, that one came down from somewhere and traveled a long ways to get there at some point in time. So this looks to us like the main trail. I guess we'll find out together if we're right. I'm gonna zoom in for you. There's the cabin along that other trail. We're gonna drop down and intersect with that and then heading up that way. There's the gang giving back all of that elevation we just gained, some switchbacks. And there's the tail of two passes. To the left, Stoney, hardly used at all anymore, and to the right, Dormer. And she's gonna be rough going up Dormer, even though it's used more often. So down I go on some switchy backs. I think to our first ford of the day here shortly. Coming down to some water. Hoping we can rock hop it potentially. And right over there is a sign, which is what we've been looking for. I'll show you that in a second. Jim's attempting a rock hop, which I will as well. Look at the color of that water. That is crystal clear. Crystal clear. Attaboy. The sign's a bit crooked, so I'll tilt the video. Dormer Pass. That way, 7.4 kilometers. Dormer River headwaters, which would be, I'm assuming, Stoney Pass area. Up that way. All right, we're going this way. Little shot up the valley. Not our valley. That's our work ahead right there. You can see there's a cairn on this side, but there's also like a, let me just show you, some antlers over there. So we're gonna head that way. All right, little delay here getting ourselves organized for this little tiny ford. I went up and down, nowhere to rock hop. So, well, here comes the ford camp. Oh my gosh, there's nothing like an early morning ford. Woo-hoo-hoo! That's it. That's all, hardly a ford, but it is. Well, we forded at the wrong place. Guess they want you to come down here, but look, no flagging at all. Zero. Wow. I guess they just expect you to know. We're just looking around, getting our bearings, and saw this. That's the second one on this trip. Back down into a drainage with zero flagging. Zero on either side. So we're going to assume we're going that way. Oh, there we are, right there. Zero flagging. My goodness. I'm going to flash up my map tracks just to show you how bad they are out here. Both Backroad Maps Books Canada and Canada Topo are just awful. We need Nat Geo here. I know I've said that before, but really, what's the holdup? Anyway, look at that. It's yeah. Always look back. Higher and higher, baby. It's a living thing. Doodle-doo-doo-doo. Stopped here behind some trees, took a little break out of the wind. Look at that view. What a great spot for lunch. Had a nice break. I came out of from our stand of trees, and it's blowing. Holy moly, look at that. Woo! Looking sideways. Turning, we're going to skirt this ridge. Come around to the left. I almost feel like we're going to drop into Dormer Pass the way this is going, but oh man. And the wind is blowing me into the side of the hill, thank goodness, because this will be a little bit, let's watch our feet as we go down, sort of back in toward the tree line. And there's the target. All right, I can put the video off now, just be super careful. Rocky Mountains indeed. That's the trail. Lean toward the hill. Old metal sign post here. One wonders if it said Dormer Pass, Although on the maps, Dormer Pass is a little further up that way. So maybe this is it. If not, it will be a mystery. Still a little more work to do before we turn the corner.
Yes, yeah.
There's some snow down there melting. Not getting much sun.
No.
Hello, fellas.
Sheep.
Jim just yelled out we're being watched. We are. Okay, so you're definitely in the pass now. According to the map, I'm just looking around at the topography. That would be it. Whew, Dormer Pass. Almost 2,400 meters. And now we're going to give a whole bunch of it back. Okay, we're going to zoom in here. I'm not sure I can get this, but yeah, there's some more. It'll be blurry. We're definitely being followed down this valley. Fairly fresh diggings. Not surprised with the amount of rodent on this pass. If you look down in the middle of the valley, you can see our trail. Holy windy. Psychic Peak to the left, Stoney Peak to the right. I wonder what my fortune is today. Psychic Peak. We just stopped to admire that. That's incredible. Oh, look at this. It's like the Stonehenge of horns. Dropping down now, and you can see this tree line here. I'm pretty sure, pretty sure Stoney Pass Trail comes down on the other side of that, joins us, and then we head to CR15. So we're dropping now back into the trees, maybe out of this wind, because it was blowing me around up there. It was kind of cool. Kept us cool. So the trail used to come from up there, and you'd ford down here and go up. This is from the washouts. We're gonna have a lot of this to deal with, but when I look up there, I can see cut tree branches, and I can see the trail. Once again, however, no flagging. Jim just yelled out, wow, and wow indeed. Look at that. Well, it's probably gonna be the first of many. Here's the Ford cam. Ho 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 ho. Mamacita. Oh boy. As expected, just past that Ford is the sign showing 9 kilometers to our campsite. Oh. You can see there behind me the old entrance to the Stoney Pass Trail. I mean, there's an old blaze there, but it's gone. So many trails disappearing in our national parks. It's just so sad. And not necessary, frankly. Back to the river. Old tattered flagging there. Oh, baby, where are you over there? It's getting late. I don't see a thing. Not even a cairn. I should do that again. Old tattered flag there. And if you look way down there, flapping in the wind. Another one. Look at this washout. Holy moly. All right, here we go. I think we're going to have to do with the double Ford cam here. This really little water here doesn't count. But this does. Here's the Ford cam. Refreshing snowbanks. Might as well keep them with me. Stay with me. Flagging is way down there. All right, Ford number 2 of the exact same spot. Look at the depth of that. No, let's go down here a ways. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. Huh. Oh boy. All right, well, wish me luck. This is going to be swift. Look at that. Yeah. Here comes the port camp. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. Getting in the swift part now. Oh yeah. My stuck between two rocks. Torn between two rocks. Feeling like a fool. Oh. And I'm out. Now what? Here we go again. There's some flagging. There's the river flats. I wonder where we go. Another flag on the tree here to the left. Good. I wonder where, does that go into the trail? Or is there something else down here? Is that going to the trail, or are we supposed to keep going? So we follow the beach. There's a mini cairn there, another mini cairn up there. And there's a not mini Isabel. Looking to see where to go next. I think I see a mini cairn ahead of her, actually. I'm gonna hop in with the port camp. Oh, baby. Here we go again. Well, if it was 35 degrees outside, this would feel great. But it's not. Okay. That way. Following cairns put here by other hikers. We just added some rocks to make a couple of them a little taller. Always much appreciated. Now, where is the flagging? So there could be some down here on my right. Yep, there it is. Straight where Isabel's going. Okay. Another cairn. We're coming down, not crossing the main channel. And I have to say right here, no flagging whatsoever, except some hiker put a cairn together. And then some more hikers put some cairns down this way so we can see where we're supposed to go. I can see a Parks Canada flag way down there. There. Well, maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. But we need one at this end as well. What number is this? Oh, that's deep down there too. Look at that. Here's that flagging. Just keep to the right and you'll be back in here. Whoa, look at this. What do you think? Pretty cool. Yeah, man. It's like a water slide. This is going to be a long day of video. Here we go again. No flagging, but I think it's pretty obvious where we're going. Trail's right over there. Wow. I'm not sure what number this is. I'm going to flash it up, but look at how deep this is. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Getting a little late in the day for that. I don't think there's any way to avoid too much depth unless I go up here a little bit. It's still going to be deep. Back there, it's almost up to my, whatever part that is. Yeah, here we go. Swift. Rocks aren't too bad, slippery wise. Oh, slippery there, however. Seems like we have a fork in the road, and I went up that one because it's well used. But when I come down here, and when I just look sideways, there's a flag on that tree, which means we're coming out here on the river flats. Either down there or here. Pick your poison. Yeah, there it is. Whoopsie. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry if that made you sick. Yeah. Now what? Show me a cairn. We're in the middle of the river flats now. I think I just saw a horse hoof. It could be something else in this sand. It could be anything. I also think I might see a flag. Yes, there's a flag. Right down there. Woohoo! So we've headed toward the flagging, which is right ahead of me. There's the old trail. Whew. Trail is gone again. No flagging on the trees, but some lovely hiker has put a cairn there. Oh. I must say, you know, it's been one of those days where I've been harping on this, but the inconsistency of flagging is just weird. I know some of it falls off and all that stuff, but like really, it's pretty obvious where a hiker would need flagging. What's not obvious is where to go after this cairn. We feel like that guy on TV. What's his name? He goes out and hunts men in the woods. Anyway, we think there may, and I'm going to zoom in for my own benefit. Maybe a flag, right?
Yeah, that's far.
Right there, maybe. Right there, maybe.
Nice.
Let's see first. Several pieces of flagging, including right up ahead of me, and then I just noticed this ledge up here, and I said, let's go left. There might be a track up here. Sure enough, there's the old trail. I know who that guy is. I feel like Man Tracker. Well, there's some horse hooves in the sand going the other way. Let's follow them in reverse. Oh. I get a little punchy now. Here's the actual trail. I gotta tell you, if I were to do this again, which, you know, not gonna happen, I would just ford the river. Come down and ford at that last piece of tape. The other two pieces just guide you along, rock picking in the water, which is kind of unnecessary. All right, up through this rock fall. Back out to the river. Let the Manhunter segment begin. Uh-oh, I might be under a theme. Okay, a couple of cairns here, thanks. And a piece of flagging from Parks, thank you. There the other ones. Yeah, for a guy who needs reading glasses, not bad on the distance. This looks like a cairn to me. Cairn, I'm sorry. That looks like a flag to me. You see that right? Oh, right there? Yeah, I think so. Yep, that's it. Come out of there and look left. Coming back down toward the river from kind of a high rise we've been on. 1.3 kilometers from the campsite is the last ford, according to the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide, or the first ford, if you're coming in the other direction, as they did. So we get down here. Hopefully there won't be any more before that. Oh my goodness, rocks everywhere. Yeah. Back down for another ford. Pretty obvious where we're going. Hoping that 1.3 was the last ford, which it is, but just not for me yet. And this, look at that depth and movement on this narrow channel. Not a lot of good options either. So, this one's going to be a little hairy. Oh boy. Here comes the port cam. Oh, you know what though? That kind of feels good. Oh yeah, this is deep. And I'm up to my thigh. Up to my thigh. Almost to my thigh. But maybe good thing I rolled up my pants. And that's it. Woo! Okay. Another flag, another cairn. And is this our final crossing? We're in that range where we could be about 1.3 to 1.5 kilometers away. The CRTG says 1.3 to camp from here. And I see another flag in that tree right, boom, there. Oh baby, is this it? Trying to pick a good spot to ford here is tough. The water's deep tonight. But you see over there, there's that little beach. So now I'm just saying to myself, well, how can I work my way across to that without putting myself in too much trouble? That's kind of the goal right now, but she is swift. Your guess is as good as mine. All right, for the final time today, here comes the ford cam. I'm going to do a little unorthodox thing. I'm going to go a little downstream. I'm going to let the water push my legs a little bit downstream, just gently, until I find a foothold. Just gently. And I'm going to let it lead me right over here to this beach. I'm going to let it push me a little bit. Again, it's unorthodox. You might not read about this much. But it's a good technique for me. I've done it a lot. Just depends on the situation and the rocks. And these are not slippery. And I'm over to what I call the beach, which is slow-moving water. And that should be the last sport of the day. not sure if I showed you this trail on the way in or not. I kind of forget. It's been almost a week. But this is Cascade Fire Road. Little cairn. And then the secret entrance into the back end of the campsite. Welcome door right here. Now listen, I've showed you this campsite on this video already. I showed it to you last year when we did the North Fork Paths Panther River headwaters. So, just gonna go in and get set up and get some supper, and we'll wrap it up. Standing where you can see where we came from today. There it is. Haha, Dormer Pass. Holy moly. Get your butt up to Dormer Pass. But if you're coming from this side, learn how to ford rivers. I'm going to flash it up. I don't even know now. I'm going to flash up how many fords. Here it is. That's just the Stoney fords. I wonder, maybe I'll add up and see how many fords we get on the entire trip. But it's a pretty good day. I mean, we started to hit our groove over the last few days. First couple days, as you know, were kind of smoky, and we had ash in our tent, and then we had thunder and lightning, and it's dry as a bone out here. But we kind of get into our groove and got out there, and today was the highlight so far. To see the goats and, the sheep. We saw sheep. To see the sheep. They were keeping a close eye on us. Yeah, it was really good. So we met some nice folks, had some supper. It's kind of getting late, and tomorrow's getaway day. Back down to the trailhead. What will we see tomorrow? More bunnies? More bear scat? We've lost count of that. Anyway, we've lost count of the kilometers so far on this trip too, so I'm going to have to add that up so that we can talk about that tomorrow at the trailhead when we find out how's the hike. Heading to bed. See you in the morning. There's an owl getting closer. Good morning, day 7. Pretty good sleep last night. Not as cold as it was the night before. I brought a very lightweight sleeping bag with me, but it has some downshifting, so not good for cold. So last night was much better. I don't really want to get up, but it's getaway day, as I said a few seconds ago in the video. Time to roll down the hill to the trailhead and put a cap on this pretty epic, almost 140 kilometer trip. 140K in 7 days is pretty good for this old guy. Had a good evening after I said goodnight, laying here in the tent, listening to an owl. I got it on video, and I don't know if you can hear it, but if you can hear it, I put the clip in after I said goodnight. Just amazing trip for wildlife. 2 bison, 2 bear, or the same bear twice. My encounter with a golden eagle mom who wasn't happy. And then hearing that owl last night was so cool. And of course the mountain goats, or whatever they were. What are they? Bighorn sheep. Yeah, bighorn sheep. Yeah, so there are lots of wildlife on this trip compared to many others. So what will we see today? The first thing I'm going to see is a cup of coffee. And we're off down that way. A little bit of real blue sky today for the first time in days. Like, we've had some blue sky, but it's been more grayish blue because of the smoke. And that's real blue sky. I don't know how else to describe it. So we're off on the way to the trailhead. Now, I've showed you this trail a few times, including on this video. So I'll show you a bit more if I see something. And then we'll get down and recap this pretty epic adventure. This is the branch off to the warden's cabin. It's very close to camp. If it's a kilometer, I'd be surprised. I haven't looked at Gaia, so I don't know. We're going to take left, I think, this morning, right? Yeah. Yeah, we'll take left. We've seen it. Jim set out a bit earlier, so he could, just wander around. Hopefully he went down to see it because he didn't see it on the way in. So we're going to climb up and over here on the actual road. some cyclists, Jeff and Andrew. Little shout out to you guys. Thanks for watching the channel. We're going up to North Fork Pass and Panther River headwaters, and then they said they watched the video and they're going to go out and do Clearwater Red Deer in late September. So really great to meet you guys, and glad that the videos, you know, kind of get you thinking about going somewhere so cool, because Clearwater Red Deer is just whoa. We also advise them to forget about Elkhorn at any point. Any point they were thinking of going over Elkhorn. No, probably not. Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll talk about that soon. Coming up to the fork. We're going right. If you were not going in for a little break at CR6, Cascade Bridge, you could bypass it that way. But we're going to go in this way and have a little break. CR6 means 6 kilometers from here to the trailhead. Some of the tent pads, as I showed you on the way in. Somebody's here, hanging out. Maybe they haven't left yet. Oh, it's a bike packer. Saw a bike with a trailer. Very cool. Showed you this on the way in. CR6 Cascade Bridge. Which I'll show you again. The finest bridge in Banff, right here. There is a bridge on the Rockwall Trail that rivals this, but that's down in Kootenay. They've even put fake rock to make it look pretty. Look at that. Pretty close to the turnoff to Upper Bankhead. I keep messing that up. Upper Bankhead Trailhead. We can start to hear cars now as they head into what I affectionately call Disneyland, or Lake Minnewanka. All right, we're just turning the corner here, back onto the trail. Probably about just over a kilometer, I'm going to guess, to the trailhead. Back to these pens. I figured out what they are. This is where they put backpackers that go out into the backcountry without a permit. So just, you know, if you do that, just remember, you're going to come back and you're going to be held here for a while. I can see cars. I can see a big white van. I can see my team, my partners. We've done it. We're going to drop these packs, and I'm going to quiz these two on the pressing question. It's busy over there, so we decided to sit because we're tired. 100, what did we say? 130 kilometers?
I think it's more like about 180.
It's not. That was the trip you wanted to do. What do you think about that now? Anyway, we'll go ladies first. Isabel, how's the hike?
It was amazing. I can't believe I did it. I tried to separate it in three downsides, 3 upsides.
Okay.
Downsides, my boots tore my feet apart, so I chose to wear these magnificent Crocs for the last 3 days, and that saved my hike. Made me so much happier.
Saved our hike too.
Yeah, I bet. I was so grumpy.
I'm
I was
just
in
kidding.
Downside, I thought about all of this, and it's just poof. The maps. So coming down of Elkhorn, that was what a day. Like, where was the grazing area? The maps were, oh, there's a trail on the south side. No, well, if we keep on going on this side, then I don't know. There's a lot of confusion. Never found the horse grazing area. It was like almost 12 hours of hiking at that point. We're like, you know what, let's just sit down here.
Exactly.
That was it. It was frustrating after such a hard day. Oh, and third thing, I'm a photographer, avid backpacker, avid photographer. I had my camera in my pack. Wrong decision. That was too heavy, but it's okay. Upside, these two guys here, thank you for your support mentally through the hike. It was amazing to have you. Thank you for inviting me on this hike.
Welcome.
Thank you for the creme brulee. That was amazing.
Yes.
The flowers were spectacular, and Dormer Pass is just one of my favorite areas of Banff National Park.
Yeah, blew my mind. JJ. Well, first of all, Echoes of Nature on Instagram. JJ in the Mountains on YouTube. How's the hike?
Well, just to step into that channel, I had camera problems at the end of day 2,
Yeah.
and I shut it down. So I was hoping to do a video of the hike. Interestingly, I wasn't really into it the first day or two. I think because of the effort. You know, the views are limited up the Cascade Fire Road for the first couple days. So there's a lot of effort, little gain, little reward, and I shut it down. I thought Stuart's going to come up with a great video, and I'm sure he will.
Let's hope.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
Well, we already know.
Yeah.
Let you do. Yeah.
And then things started to happen. You know, the Red Deer River, the Bison running over the bridge at 7:30 in the morning while we're standing having breakfast. That evening, 15 minutes after climbing into our tents on the Panther River, and a bison come thrashing through the water, through the willows. The last thing Stuart saw was its rear end as it went into the trees.
I yelled out, I said...
The sound of it was just amazing.
I was just going to say, I yelled out to everybody, is that a bison? Up the river, yeah.
And then the next day, 2 grizzly bears. The day after was Dormer Pass, the bighorn sheep. I'll never forget that. The bighorn sheep, the females and their young looking down on us from way up high from that ridge.
Yeah.
And old Eagle Eyes spotted that.
She sees everything.
She spotted the eagle.
Oh, don't even get me started on the eagle.
Well, no, that was the other eagle, because there were 2 eagles.
Okay.
We had 2 eagles.
Oh, yeah.
I learned a little bit from this woman about a bald eagle versus a golden eagle.
You did.
Where I live in British Columbia, we have bighorn sheep, so it was neat to see the sheep. The rewards against the effort, a lot of effort on this hike. The rewards didn't really seem to come until midway in the hike, but they really came out in Dormer Pass. We all loved it. We all loved Dormer Pass, and I'm really happy that Stuart planned the hike in the sequence or the order that we did it. It would have been a rough start climbing up Dormer Pass from the other side.
And all those fords.
And all those fords.
Yeah.
And then have the best views at the beginning of the trip, and then the towards the end.
Save the big stuff till the end.
Yeah.
The negatives, I did trail work a year ago with the Great Divide Trail Association. I learned something about reassurance markers.
Good point.
And this is really something that we needed when we were trying to find Elkhorn East, because we never found it.
No.
And that's discouraging. It added to an already long day. And that was, I think, our toughest day, because by the time we got down to the Panther, it was, I think, 8 o'clock or 8:30. We were all bagged.
Yeah.
And that was disappointing, because it's a beautiful area. We just didn't really enjoy it
We
like
didn't
we
get a
could
chance.
have.
That's right. Yeah.
On the flip side, there are at times some reassurance markers, and I'm glad that they're out there. So there is some work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
But overall, I love the hike. I'm not going to give it a rating out of 10 or anything like that.
No, we're done with that.
But would I do it again? No. But I'm the type of person that kind of likes to see what's on the other, around the next corner. I want to see the next hike. I don't really want to go back to what I've done.
Right.
And I'm glad we did it. This was a good hike.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys came. Thank you. Great company. This was part of a hike I started to do with Ann and Jim last summer, that we had to get them out because of their fire. They were being evacuated from their home, which was in BC, so we had to get them out. So yeah, as a standalone, that's the thing. This wasn't a ton of payoff for us. I thought it would be more like the Clearwater Red Deer Circuit, where every day, with the exception of Peters Creek, was spectacular. Even Peters Creek had its beautiful moments and stuff like that. So, but I'm glad we did it. We got 130K under the belt. And I've never seen more animals on the trail. I've got a little something I'll share, and then we'll wrap it up. I felt like a kid on Christmas. I had bighorn sheep, 2 grizzly bears, 2 bison, and a golden eagle attacking me. That's it. Any questions or comments, leave them below. Check out the links below. As always, thank you for watching so much. Glad to meet so many of you on the trail who enjoy the videos. And, well, until next time, thanks for watching.